Let's turn now to a story that's impacting our parent company, Comcast. This morning, Comcast announced its intention to spin off its cable networks into a new publicly traded company comprised of some of NBCUniversal's best-known brands like MSNBC, and CNBC.
Comcast had announced on its quarterly call in late October that it was considering this venture. This all comes at a time when those brands are facing the same cost-cutting challenges as many other cable networks and the media at large.
NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Chung joins us now with more. Brian, we will just be transparent and say we all have a lot of questions.
We do.
As people who work here. But what do we know at this point? And tell us kind of what it means for the networks that we mentioned that would be in this spinoff.
Yeah, so you mentioned MSNBC, CNBC, and also E! But I want to add that it also includes Syfy, the Golf Channel, Oxygen, USA as well. Those brands would be spun off into a separate company. It would be a separate publicly traded company that has its own stock symbol. Current shareholders of Comcast would remain holders of Comcast, but they would also get shares in this new company. But again, basically the idea here is that they're going to be two separate companies. They would have a complete corporate silo, but there could be some licensing agreements or maybe even some newsroom sharing between the two companies. That remains an open question. Regardless, the company says that this is going to take about a year to complete. So it's definitely a lot of questions up in the air at this time.
And then some folks stay put, right? Who doesn't move to this new company?
Yeah, so in the Comcast NBCUniversal company, you're going to have NBC News, which is us. You have Universal Studios as well as the Universal theme parks. NBC Sports is going to stay as part of that. And Bravo is kind of the one cable network exception that's not going to be part of this spin company. It's going to remain as part of the NBC properties. But I want to point out that the president of Comcast, Mike Cavanaugh, he said that the idea here is to, quote, play offense in a complex and evolving media landscape. Obviously, there's a lot of change that's been happening. A lot of companies that have been selling cable assets. You rewind to 2022 when AT&T sold off their Time Warner assets in the form of Warner Media. That got bought up by Discovery. There's a lot of moving parts here, and I imagine this is kind of part of the strategy as well.
We just can't let go of those housewives.
That's right. Yeah,
it's quite profitable, I imagine.
They'll be anchoring the news soon.
We'll see about that.
Brian, for viewers at home, will they notice anything? I mean, for people who actually, a lot of people don't even know, I think, that those brands are related to us. At least I experience that when I tell somebody, oh, you know, E's part of NBC, same family that we're in. But will viewers at home notice anything?
Yeah, well, I mean, again, I think the way that most people are consuming things right now is through Peacock, which Peacock will remain part of Comcast. But again, because these companies are now getting spun off like Syfy and E! Like if you want Syfy or E! content on Peacock, there might have to be some sort of agreement, the licensing between the SpinCo and then with Comcast. That remains to be seen. And it'll probably be details that'll be worked out over the next year. But again, you probably should expect to see, at least in the interim, no change to what you're seeing on Peacock. You'll still be able to get your MSNBC, NBC, but also some of those cable network properties as well, like The Housewives.
All right, Brian, keep us posted.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.